got a medical school board. We have scheduled to go directly into closed session, but I know there's, you want to make an introduction?
Yes, I would.
And we're honored, we're glad to have that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mayor and members of council. It brings me a great deal of joy to introduce to you our new police chief, Chief Goldsmith, who's come to be with us today. I will tell you that this morning he was sworn in, and it's a great man that we have on the team, but he also has a great family. I spent some time with his mother and his mother-in-law, and I would hope that my mother-in-law would love me as much as Chief Goldsmith. But
No chance.
Anything you'd like to say?
I just want to say, I want to thank the council, thank Marcus, thank city government for providing me the opportunity to serve in this capacity. I'm very much looking forward to working with council, very much looking forward to working with the community, with the priorities that you set to make sure the police department is integrated into the vision that you have, and that we make sure that we're holding up our end and trying to accomplish that mission. So I'm sure I'll have a chance to talk to each of you before it's over with. But again, I just want to say thank you for having confidence enough in me to afford me this chance to work. Thank you.
You'll be great.
Thank you.
Great. Chief, we're really looking forward to working with you. We're honored to have you as our police chief. And every single person that I've talked to who's now heard about this has been congratulatory. You come with a lot of friends, clearly having worked in the system here since 1989, and you just come right through the ranks. Hiring from within is something we talked to the manager about, but he's really made a great hire here. We're looking forward to great things from you.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike.
Great. Great. Now, we have, Dr. Kenny Bryant with us, Pastor Bryant. And I know the CSB thing is later on the agenda, but can we pull that out real quickly in the interest of time? I know Ann is probably teed up to do that.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
So Ann is going to give you an update of where we are with the CSB. You have a number of ordinances tonight on the docket, but I know we're in a great place. And we also have Reverend Bryant here tonight, and it's been a pleasure working with him and his team during this transition.
Okay, I'm going to take you through this pretty quickly. You have 5 ordinances tonight before you. We had quite a lot of people working on the transition. There were 15 teams working on all different aspects of CSB, the contracts, the facilities, the services, the staffing, personnel. It was a very good group, cross-cutting against both agencies. We looked at all of the operations, and we had 3 issues that we kept in front of us as we did that, and that was no disruption of current services to the consumers, bringing the CSB staff in whole, and working towards integrating CSB in the city. These are transition milestones. We had lots of meetings, but these are the big ones. We started off January 31st, setting forth our teams and putting them in place. We started going through CSB Board of Directors executed an MOU with us. Sarah Page Fuller was selected as the new interim director in April, and this evening you'll be looking at 5 ordinances that really bring the CSB into the city as a department and change the board of the CSB. The board as it presently exists is an operating board. It's an independent board. You do appoint it, and it appoints the executive director. It acts relatively independently. It would be changing to an administrative policy board. It would become a department of the city. The director would be appointed by the local government with the input of the board, and the board would still have the oversight of some of the services and policies, of course, under the discretion of the city council. So we're changing the structure of the organization. The ordinances that are before you are these 5. The first one changes the structure of the board and the status of the employees as becoming city employees. Second, I'll go through them inch by inch here. So this is the first one, which establishes the board, sets forth what its duties and functions are, states which employees are not members of the classified services, and establishes the executive director. The second ordinance you have is one that relates to the retirement contributions, so that the CSB employees coming into the city do not have to pay the contribution to employees that other people coming into the city presently do. The third one has to do with retirement vesting. We are closing out their retirement system. They will be coming into the city's retirement system, but they have to go through the vesting, the 5-year vesting. This gives them credit for years that they were in CSB. The grievance procedure, CSB has a different grievance procedure than we do. So this one basically nullifies the CSB grievance procedure and puts in place the grievance procedure they would be following the city's grievance procedure. The next one is allowing the city to take over some of the contracts of the CSB. We carefully went through those as in our teams, determining what they would be. So this would be taking the city to actually taking some of the contracts and the personal property of the CSB. Our next steps would be that Sarah Page Fuller will be coming to our council committee on June the 26th, our Health, Education, and Families Committee, and giving you the next steps, a little more detail about how CSB is being implemented as a department. Questions? Yes.
One question about logistics. What's happening with Wainwright bankruptcy and build outs and leases and all that?
We're not in that anymore.
So we're out of there?
It's,
We didn't even move in.
Did we?
we still paying?
We're not.
No, we're not engaged in that anymore. We are looking at other facilities and seeing how we can make them more efficient and that sort of thing, but we're not engaged in the Wainwright. Are there other questions? All right, thank you.
Just before we go into closed session, one thing we need to deal with, and maybe we can do it next meeting, is the HRT board. We get to select one person from our own council to go on the HRT. Then we need to make some recommendations to the governor in the form of a letter to the governor. I mean, it's been suggested we make 3 names, but we could make 3 or 4, and we can make 5. If anybody has a name that they want to submit to me, how about that? And that I would put it in a letter recommending it to the governor without, I didn't want to go in a closed session for something like this because I think.
We meet on the 20th.
But I'd like to do it before we get to that, at least the letter going to the governor.
So he makes the appointment?
He makes the appointment. So, I mean, if the practice has been for us to send up 3 names, I think we could send up, 4 if we needed to, or 2, or 1. So if anybody has a name who they want to recommend to the governor, appointment to the HRT board, if you will give it to me, I will put it in a letter to him. We'll say, by the end of the week. Is that okay? Is that fair enough? Or first of next week?
What is the
If you
fourth
have it.
Thursday of this month? I have 26.
26.
No, the fourth Thursday.
Thursday, 28th.
The nominating committee meets 28th of HRT meets that. Fourth Thursday. I guess it would impact 28th, so it meets after that. So
Exactly.
we'll know.
How does that affect Barkley and Paul?
Only one of them goes on the board.
And it has to be somebody that we submit to the governor and then he selects
No,
her?
no, we pick the elected official, and we have an alternate. It can be a sitting council member or not, plus it could be, and the alternate could be the city manager if we want. Or we could pick 2 sitting council members to go on the HRT.
Jeff Walensky has been an alternate. There's an alternate, but I don't think that changed. There's an alternate.
I think the
comes-
law says the elected official or the manager. I don't think it says the manager or his designee any longer. Okay.
the
So
mayor-
Barkley stays on.
One of us.
That's the
One of the
council.
2 stay on and then we have to submit a name to the governor. It's the new situation, new scenario.
Well,
Because Paul, you're on.
I'm on you.
All right, so one of these two would stay on. Are you the chair now?
No, I was the chair last year.
When the governor has a timetable of,
I don't think he has it.
we don't know, he has to have about, the changes on July 1st.
But I'm not sure, the governor has a lot of appointments to make.
Yeah.
I actually said something to him the other night, did he know what he was gonna do with the HRT appointments? And he had so much stuff to do, I'm not sure that appointment's gonna come out for a while.
He's got one from 7 cities, 6 cities.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, he's also got thousands of other appointments around the Commonwealth, so.
Okay. We'll just deal with it the best way we know. I
Do
think
we have
as
to
far
do
as the
that
nom-
by a resolution?
Yes.
Or-
Yes.
The nominees have to be made.
You
by
want to-
resolution?
No, I'm sorry, the
I'm
council's
fine
appointment
either way.
and an alternate is by resolution. That the governor will do
I
his
have to do
otherwise.
the nominating, I am the chairman of the nominating committee, so I guess we can just kind of tread water until we find out what's going on. If we do the chairman, I guess Rick, anyway.
Rick will be the chairman, and it's
I think
Hampton to come in.
Yeah, we'll just do that as a.
Will you do it? I mean, if Carl, do you
Yeah.
care? I mean, whether he, I mean, you've been on there how many years now?
3.
3? 23, something like that.
We'll just, I am the chairman of the nominating committee, we'll beat our way through it somehow. We'll make the important appointments, and then the committees will have to
Flip a
wait.
coin or something, I don't.
I'm sorry.
You guys can flip a coin, you guys talk it out, decide which one.
It doesn't bother me when, I've been on there, several years, and Barclay's newcomer, if he wants to stay, that's fine,
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay,
Fine with me.
all right, then that's the way we'll handle it. You want to be the alternate?
Not necessarily. Jeff Rolisky has been, does have to be.
But I mean, it can either be, the alternate can be either a city council member or the city manager.
Okay.
I might have misspoke if I caused you to think that. I think the alternate can be.
Staff person.
Yes. The alternate is a wider range than, the language is, governing body may appoint from its number or otherwise designated alternate member. So I would say otherwise would include somebody in Mr. Relisky's position.
I think Jeff would be a good
Okay,
guy
I
to
mean,
keep.
that's true.
Yeah, I think it's good to have him
Yeah.
there. Because he's-
Yeah, he's good. And he rides the
You have
bus
a
too.
resolution so we can get that done here tonight? Yeah, sure. Okay, all right, we're ready to go into
So, then I'm
closed
gonna
session.
say, we're gonna, on the 26th, send the names to the governor. Right.
We are
For
going to try
our-
to, if anybody has a public, a citizen, I think is what it says, who they would like to recommend to serve on the HRT, who is not an elected official, this is not an elected official. If you have a friend, say you want to nominate Janet, just give me her name, I'll put it in a letter, everybody go up there, okay?
Not that
Let the
stupid.
governor, okay.
Okay, so the 28th, that's gonna go out by the 28th.
I'm
governor,
going
we
to try to
just
get that out next week. if I
Are you
can.
gonna get it out before the 28th?
Yeah.
And then we're just gonna react to whatever the governor says when he says it as far as committees and what have
He
you.
might, he doesn't even have to use that list. He's probably got somebody in mind anyway, I mean, or his staff may have,
Okay.
okay? All right, do it. Okay, we're gonna go into closed session on it's real estate, right?
That's legal matter.
Let's see.
Other members of the council assemble in closed meeting on 1/12/2012 at 4:16 p.m. for the purpose set out in Clause 7 of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and that is consultation with legal counsel and briefings by staff members or consultants pertaining to one legal matter related to the water side. Mr. Burford? Aye. Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Welcome. I hope the manager will encourage your folks to get out so we have a good turnout out there. Secondly, we haven't talked much at all really about school board appointments as far as how we're going to consider their selection. Rick sent out some dates, but just listening to the room here, we're going to get the names tonight. I don't know how many names we're going to get. Um, um, it- How many people could not do interviews Friday if we needed to? Paul
Bad
couldn't.
for me.
Friday at what time?
No, I mean like noon on.
I can only do it in the morning.
I
I
might
can
be
do the
able,
morning, I can do.
I might be able to do it in the morning.
I could do it in the morning.
But the people we're appointing, are they expecting to be, being able to turn around that quickly? We don't know what their schedules are.
Well, they're gonna have to live with our schedule.
Well, don't we, let me ask you,
But I
don't,
mean-
aren't we doing it like last time where we get like 20 names, we go through and we circle the 5 we want?
It says you suggested the 15th on the memo from Breck.
That's it, okay.
Didn't that how we
I
did it last time, Paul?
Yes.
Yeah, Tommy's got
But
to
I mean,
That's a
He
fast
sent-
turnaround.
he sent a
to meet this
memo
Friday.
out
We just
to
get
all
on the
of
night,
us
isn't it?
I put it on my calendar right away.
Okay, so what will happen then is we will, after tonight, Breck will compile a list of people whose names are on the list, okay, whose names have been nominated. I don't know if we're gonna have 6 or 16, but he will then circulate it to you, and hopefully, I wanna say by Friday, you have the names back to him, okay? So who wants to be interviewed? Tell me about next week. When are the best days to do this? Where the city council meeting is canceled on the 19th.
I thought you said you were out of town.
I mean, I'm in the Outer Banks, but if I have to, I'll drive back. Where are you gonna be out of town?
We're out of town Friday morning.
You're gonna be fishing, or you're gonna be?
I could probably change it if everybody else is going.
No, let's
Last
see.
day of
Go
the
ahead.
Cypress Day. But no, I'll change.
What, this Friday?
Look, what about next week? Can you do it Tuesday? Interviews
I'll have to do
Tuesday?
it Friday, I'll be out of town.
I can do it Friday. I can.
It'll be in Kansas City.
Everybody else can do it.
Let's do
Does
Tuesday.
anybody have their calendars?
Tuesday,
Tuesday, would it be
Tuesday the
19th?
19th?
we could do whatever.
Paul,
I'd rather,
you gonna-
I'd
Tuesday the
rather go
19th?
fishing later than you come
Yeah.
back from
Tuesday
out of
night.
bank.
Would you start in the morning, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I got all day, because
I'll just continue with case.
okay.
Well, I said I can make it Friday, but it works for everybody else.
On Friday's not as good.
How about 10 o'clock, start at 10? Is that okay?
Right, yep.
What day are you talking now?
The 19th.
Tuesday, the 19th.
Wait a minute, what day is that?
Tuesday,
We're doing it in the morning? On Tuesday?
We don't meet next week.
Yeah, so why don't we do it when we would normally, I mean, no, I can't do Tuesday. I mean, I'm sorry. I just assumed we would do it when you normally have a meeting. But I guess that means you're coming.
I can make it now. I can make it Friday morning and get everybody else.
Terry, do you know what could you do it at noon?
Oh, absolutely.
Right, how about, can we start at noon,
Tuesday, good.
Tuesday? Is that okay?
that works.
All right. And we'll just keep going till we get them all done. You're gonna do it on Tuesday,
12 o'clock.
okay?
Hold on now. Don't Brett shake them out for us?
No, we tell him who we want here.
What do you mean? He's
You gotta
scheduled.
let him know who
We
we
do
want.
by Friday.
Yeah, we did about something, we tell him we want here.
Okay? We're gonna get the nominations tonight, and then we will, Breck will prepare a list of them, and then ask everybody to circle who they want to interview. All right, and then Breck, by Friday the 16th, will notify them that they will be doing interviews beginning noon on the 19th of June. Okay? And we will go until, we had a 20-minute interview, I think is what we did last time? 15 minutes? Is 15 minutes okay with everybody?
But didn't the person had to get a certain number of circles to qualify?
Yeah.
We're not changing, we'll explain it to you.
Okay, we want 2 circles to qualify?
We had a certain number of circles last.
I think that's right, didn't we?
We
Brett?
did,
one
we had a
circle.
certain number of circles.
Had to
2
be-
circles to qualify, all right? I mean, otherwise, you're not gonna get 5 votes if you don't have
Yeah,
at least
no, you
2.
don't need 5, you just need to have
Yeah,
at
if
least
you don't
2.
have,
You remember?
because if you don't have at least 2 people who are
Yeah,
interested,
that's what it
there's no way you're gonna get 5.
Huh?
Is that all right?
is.
But I mean, isn't that what we did last time?
Last year, I think the letter said that if whoever did not receive a circle would not be interviewed. But 2 is.
Or how about 2?
Two makes
Okay,
sense.
Yeah.
okay, everybody,
It's like a second.
that's right, nomination in a second, okay. Okay. and then we will try to reach the decision that night, or you want to wait till the 29th, to the 26th when we come back? Can we decide just after the interviews? I mean, once the interviews are finished, try to decide on the 19th and let everybody know, so we'll vote on the ordinance on the 26th?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
Last time we did this too, we had a set of questions that we asked them all. How do we send, if we have questions that we want to, for consideration, do we send those to Breck or what?
I think we had a set of like 4 or 5 questions, examples of questions. If there's a specific question you want to give to Breck that we should all ask, do it. Okay. All right, the agenda review. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, sir.
Are there any council interests, really? Anthony, Andy? No, okay. Paul? No. Barclay?
I just
No,
got a couple.
just got a couple things.
A letter about some cleanup work on Lake Whitehurst from Nick Rare. Did you get that?
No.
Another about, evidently lives on Lake Whitehurst and a lot of junk.
I mean, they're in the process of cleaning.
Right, he said the bird's got it. Another is, I got a very nice letter complimented from Ed Kellum, who's moving back to Norfolk, complimenting Kevin Du Bois on the wetlands issues in his new house, and what they wrote about. I was gonna have it handed to Frank, and he said, no. Pass it down. And then something about Kingston Avenue, some apartments that have been vacant a long time.
That was interesting. That was dated April 28th, and then we received it in our council stuff last week. Is there any way to know if that was submitted? I mean, that was almost 2 months after.
You would get it immediately after we received it.
Right, but how do we know if that made it through to planning or whoever the party is? Or it's your office, Marcus. Did that go through?
There's a problem.
We received that back some time ago. We do have an active case there.
Okay.
We have had an active case.
Yeah, I would think if it came, 2 months ago, that you guys have already jumped on it before we even got it, so.
I think it came back again because Ann brought it to my attention yesterday, and it was like, we already dealt with this.
Okay.
How did we deal with it?
We have an open case on this for code enforcement.
They've been vacant for like 20 years.
The problem is we don't know who to reply back to because they just put the concerned citizens of Kingston. They didn't give us a.
Terry?
Very quickly, I received a series of about 6 pictures that I'm happy to forward to all of you about obstacles on pedestrian ways for the disabled. And several years ago when Stanley was with us, I was trying to get that reinitiated in the city. We actually can be subject to some pretty significant fines if we're not making sure that we have access for our disabled. And I just would like to know kind of where we stand on that. Is anybody spearheading that? I mean, this woman who is disabled. Oh, Stanley, I'm sorry. This woman who is disabled was actually told by a policeman who had parked across the curb slant that he didn't care about that he was there, and if we didn't like it, we could go somewhere else. So, I mean, it's this kind of thing, this idea that we really have to be very careful that we are making sure that we are obstacle-free for our disabled. So I just would like kind of an update on that.
Okay.
And then very briefly for all of you, a couple of weeks ago at our meeting, Tommy had a pertinent issue about he didn't want to pass an ordinance because he hadn't heard from the Civic League. As it turned out, the Civic League didn't let you know because they were going to charge me. But I'm just thinking maybe we as a group could come up with some kind of process so that every time something is up for vote that perhaps within our wards, we make sure that we've heard, checked with the Civic League so we knew. Because, I mean, I do think it's important that we know what the Civic League's view is. If it was a 0 or 6-0 vote from planning commission, we wouldn't be presented with it. Am I correct? But it could be 6-0 and civic leagues maybe not be in favor of it. So how do you all feel about that? Is there some way, I'm trying not to put more burden on administration, to say they have to, well, no, seriously,
Right,
I mean.
and the Civic League president, he called me again the next day, apologized, his daughter was getting married that weekend, and he just didn't have a chance to
And
send
I
it to me.
understand, I
but-
think that's a relatively rare occurrence. But I just thought perhaps each of us could accept responsibility. Does that sound all right for you all, to you all? I can tell nobody really cares.
When I have
The
issues that come
groundswell is
up.
overwhelming, really.
I mean, when I have issues and I see them come up and it's civic leagues that are active and whatnot, you know, I'll just call them and ask them. I mean, we had one last time where we postponed it for the auto body shop in Copper Halls. And the civic league president hadn't had an opportunity to talk to the developer or anything. But all the information had been sent by planning, you know, so I mean.
Well, I don't have a problem with it as long as.
Send it and, you know.
Can Marcus get us the agenda earlier than Friday evening? Because I think that's the other issue is that sometimes we find out about things, you know, I tend to try to read them over the weekend, but
Right.
I really enjoyed that one time you got it to us on Thursday. That was great.
We can strive to try to get it to you Thursday. It's real tight anytime before that because literally I'm going over those documents on a Wednesday.
You gotta get with the clerk's office too.
And also, if you're on the email list from the city, you'll get the agenda on that before we get it as council members. Because I have constituents that will email me with complaints before I've even received it in the Dropbox. Because the agenda goes out to the public before we get it in our.
But does the agenda that they get include all the
It doesn't have all the
backdrop
supporting,
information
but
that we get?
No, it
So
just
they
says-
have more to prepare for us than they have to put out
Right.
for the public.
Right.
Which may be why we get it late.
But
I
I'm
mean,
on that
earlier
list,
Friday
so-
would be good. Earlier Friday would be fine with me.
I mean, there's a process. These things go to the planning commission often before they come to us. Instead of putting that burden on the administration who then it bounces to the clerk's office, you know, maybe you can get a follow-up of critical issues that make their way from the planning commission because it's about a 2-week lag and you'll get an opportunity to see, you know, what issues are important to you that are germane to your community where you'll have more time to dissect them and look at them. And if you need to get with your prospective civic leagues, you can do that at that time. And that would at least give you a 2-week window because you then would know if it passed the planning commission, who showed up in opposition or proponents of the issue.
But in this situation, that wasn't the issue. The issue was purely that,
It went to planning though.
no, and it passed, and there
Right.
was no opposition. It was just that Tommy hadn't heard about it.
But if
From anybody. Am I correct?
If he
So
got,
that
I just thought it was
doesn't
interesting
solve it.
to have a
If he got a
convenience store of that
summary-
size.
if he got a summary, he would have saw that it had passed with a favorable vote through the planning commission. If he had any questions at that point,
Well,
he
don't
could
we
have,
get that with pending actions?
I've never saw a Wawa anywhere on
all I'm
this.
saying is
Yeah, I don't know.
that maybe that we could get a summary, you know, of
Well,
these things
but
that
now
come from
what
the
we're
planning
doing is we're
commission.
giving administration more work.
No, that's the disposition of those have already been done. You guys get a file of that, so you could get a copy of that to see that. That way it wouldn't add any more burden on the administration to try
What do
to.
you mean when you say a summary?
Well, the things that came to planning commission is a 2-week lag, so it's not like it's, you know, they got to rush to get it to you. But if these are issues that come through the planning commission, that issues that make their way to the city council, then you can get a,
Planning commission action set. when it's
right,
ready.
you can get a summary of those things that
I
will
think they
come
send
to
that out
us
anyway.
in a 2-week time. So
It's not detailed
if you look at it and you see it, then that would have been avoided. And he would have had 2 weeks before, he could have gone to the Civic League and said, hey, is this okay? And it wouldn't have to been an incident where we had to deal with it on the dais. That's all I'm saying.
So how do you feel about that?
I would really hesitate to put the administration under the gun of trying to get something out to us Thursday. I mean, we finish on Tuesday, the end of Tuesday. You got Wednesday to try to figure out what's happening, and then by Thursday to try to print it all, and the city attorney's got to review it. I mean, these guys are working pretty hard just to get stuff out by Friday. I mean,
Frank,
isn't that fair to say? I mean, not, and I know you would do it Thursday if we told you to, and you know, but.
Yeah, let's have it Friday. Should be.
Promise me.
Frank, how
I mean, I
have,
feel like if you've got Monday and Tuesday to call.
Frank, how tasking is that to do a
And
summary
what's happening.
from the planning commission?
We can read it, then you
Right
Monday.
now, the planning commission acts on a Thursday. We have until the following Tuesday to turn everything around
Tuesday afternoon.
in order to keep things on the agenda to get it on a city council meeting roughly a month after the planning commission day.
I mean, you know, I'm on things. I mean, I'm usually.
We can create
that's why
another
it was
document,
alarming.
but it would require us to be exercising or creating that additional document, and it could potentially slow things down.
Okay, well, I don't want to slow
Why don't we just
anything.
keep it like it is, and if we have
Yeah.
a problem, a question,
Thank
like
you,
you,
Frank.
we postpone the thing.
Was that, but
Well,
you're
that's the
missing my
Wibbly rule.
point.
That's the Wibbly rule.
You're missing my point. My point is that if a developer has done what he has to do, we ask him to do that. We need to be welcoming them, not saying, oh yeah, sorry, we'll see you in 2 weeks. That's the whole, that was my premise.
I understand.
So, okay.
It's happened once since I've been on council.
Okay, so forget it.
That was the one.
So, I mean, no, since I've been on council, I've heard different council members say, can we delay this because I want to talk to the community? And it's just a respectful thing that we do. And that night tended to be a little bit more controversial for some reason, but I just made a request and it is what it is. I'm moving forward. I talked to the Civic League president. We found out what the communication issue it was. I was just shocked to see a very active Civic League had not communicated with Barkley or I. It kind of came out of nowhere. No, not one of us knew that there was another Wawa coming in the city.
Normally, if I don't hear from them, no news is good news, and they'll let me know if there's a problem, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's because it wasn't really violating any, I mean, that's what it was zoned for. It was just a special exception that it was,
Right.
So that's probably why it wasn't as controversial.
Right, oh, absolutely. Unless it was a Wawa, you all were crazy about it. Anyway, I just thought maybe we could
I don't know, I kind of think
simplify
that,
the issue.
I think that was kind of like the exception where nobody had heard about it. I think at least if we ask for an exception, somebody's heard something, somebody's got something, somebody's called, something has happened, but it was like Mr. Riddick said, the stealth. Wow.
All right.
Anthony?
Couple of things. One, you know, the employees had a 6-month pass to ride the Tide. Is that going to be renewed?
Yes,
Okay,
all of next year.
okay, excellent. I had a few ask me about that. Secondly, I just wanted, you know, you had staffed it, you know, that they worked diligently to try to solve a problem that Dave Durrell and Ann and Ron and ultimately Frank. So thanks for the teamwork to get that resolved. It's been a issue that I had to deal with for quite some time. So, but thank you for expediting that. We got to find a better, and I know staff is working on this, a better way to mitigate some code issues as it relates to the time that we respond to nuisance abatement issues. I understand that Burnett's office is working to try to expedite that process in terms of dealing differently than we deal with it now, to be able to move a little more expeditiously on these issues. You know, whether it be boarding up a property, whether it be cutting grass, high grass, I would like to see the city attorney office get more involved, Bernard, in terms, because we have this Dalek structure program that we're implementing, but there are a couple of tools that are aside from that. We have nuisance abatement, but these have to be implemented out of your office, as well as drug abatement. And I think that a lot of these properties with drug abatement, it allow us to move a little more expeditiously and eradicating these properties from the community, opposed of taking the blight approach, which takes us approximately about 120 days, taking that through the process, and if it change hands, it starts over again. So, I don't know if you could assign somebody where we could collaborate and work with Frank's office to look at, when we look at various properties, what is the best method or best tool to utilize to get these properties out of the community a little quicker. And then lastly, I want to say to the mayor, we had a great weekend this past weekend, and I want to thank you as well, the staff and all the departments, and Karen Scherberger. I mean, she did a tremendous job in terms of shepherding a spectacular weekend. Couldn't ask for better weather, but the execution in terms of logistics and people just being able to understand what was happening and various ships that were here. And, I say that to you, man, because you were 110 places. It was probably hard for you to truly enjoy yourself. I felt in for you for a few spots, but unlike you, I mean, again, having to go to every ship meet, whether it be state, federal, folk from a different country, going on those ships, receiving plaques, changing plaques, that was special to a lot of the countries that had come here to meet you and for you to greet them personally. And so, thank you.
A few drinks along the way, too, so it wasn't all work. A couple of lemonades.
Brian waiting in the car to drive him
Those
home.
Brazilian punches.
The tequila finally got to
It
him.
was the tequila of Mexico.
I did the Mexican one for you.
Thanks.
I'll send Ann a specific address, but if there's a chance for a codes inspector to just drive down Ocean View Avenue, we have some vacant lots that are now overgrown, and the height is not as much of a complaint that's come in. It's the runners that run on the sidewalk. They're starting to overtake some sidewalks, and some of the cyclists, I know they're not supposed to. It's to do that, but and hopefully we get that changed soon. But if somebody could just write down, I'll send you 2 complaints that came in on one lot. But if you can check that area, particularly in the East Ocean View area, the runners are complaining. That's it.
Anthony beat me to it, but the op sale piece is, there are several things working in our favor. Clearly was the weather. We had Karen Scherberger, who's at the very top of her game. Everybody, I'm a better lawyer today than I was when I started. She's better. She's the best right now. She's at the top of her game. And nobody does it better than her at this point in time. And we had a guy out at the Naval Base, the 4-star Admiral Harvey, who absolutely got it, who tried to make things happen. And when the boss, says it's important to him, all the 3 stars and 2 stars and captains, everybody showed up. We also have a city manager who gets it, Marcus. And it wasn't always that way. Sometimes there were phone calls. You had to bring people out and ask for help. But you led from the front. And the department heads here, were not the least bit hesitant about jumping in and helping. And they were out there too. And the managers, your assistants. So we had hundreds of thousands of people. We made new friends. We had an enormous economic impact on the city. And I'm not sure any one person is really, gets all the credit, but certainly you get the lion's share of it in the city for, for enabling people like Karen to do what she does best, if you know what I mean, and your departments, and giving them the freedom to do that. And so I appreciate that. I really do. Okay. Just wait till the next time, right? It only is. Okay. Did you enjoy the op sale, by the way?
Incredible. It was great.
Even the guys in Ocean View enjoyed it.
Okay, well, we have a series of short presentations for the June 26th meeting. So without further ado, it's the Frank Duke Show. Basically, these are a number of items that had at least one no vote. and Planning Commission, and we're going to give you an update on each.
And we will try to do this fairly quickly so you can get on to the more exciting issues. The first of these is the proposal for the Mega Mart on Sewell's Point Road. This is an existing convenience store located almost across from Norview High School. It's located in the Coronado-Inglenook neighborhood. It's very close to the Norview neighborhood. It is an existing convenience store that does not have the authority to sell alcohol. And what they're looking for is the ability to sell alcohol for off-premise consumption. Property is zoned C1, which means this is a permitted use by special exception. It's a very small neighborhood store. They are proposing limited hours from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Monday through Saturday, and then 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Sundays. The only issue we had as staff with this proposal are the requirements of the 5 Points Community Streetscape Master Plan, which does call for streetscape improvements at the intersection of Sewell's Point and Widgeon Roads. The applicant, as a part of the special exception that you'll see in 2 weeks, has committed to making these streetscape improvements, providing some landscaping in this area. So they are addressing the only issue we have with this from a technical standpoint. The other issue that was raised at Planning Commission was the proximity of this site to neighborhood schools. So on this graphic, this is the site. These are the schools that are in the area. The other black dots are other ABC establishments that are not, that already do have the approval to sell for off-premise consumption. We did get, at the public hearing for the Planning Commission, we did have the applicant speak in support, as well as we do have a letter of support from the Coronado-Inglenook Civic League. We had one citizen who spoke in opposition. Subsequent to the Planning Commission public hearing, we have received 2 additional letters of support, one from the principal of Norview High School and one from the pastor of a neighborhood church. So based on the issues that it technically complies with all ordinance requirements, and they are making the improvements called for in the council-approved plan, recommendation of staff was approval. Planning Commission, the vote was 3-3. And by the bylaws of the Planning Commission, that comes to you with the recommendation of denial. The people voting in support of the project based their support on the commitment to make the street site improvements called for in the community's adopted plan, as well as the letter of support from the Civic League.
Which Civic League was that?
Coronado.
Coronado.
Those voting in the minority, those voting against it, expressed concern about the proximity of the site to Norview High School.
In their streetscape improvements?
Yes, ma'am.
Are those, when it comes to landscaping and things like that, is there language in there, can't remember, that calls for ongoing?
We would require the maintenance becomes an ongoing issue. We will go after, and we have cited commercial properties if they are not maintaining the required streetscape.
Okay.
I can tell you, there has been an increase of alcohol abuse by teenagers at the high school level. I've seen it this year, and there are more and more kids that are bringing it to school, single serves, and what are the alcoholic beverages that are like fruit punch and what are they called? It's in my mind. No, come on guys, help me. Watermelon flavor. They have, no, they're bottled. Like wine coolers, yeah. The wine, thank you.
Tropical breezes.
Yeah, there are more and more teenagers that are apparently getting access to that, whether they're being able to purchase it and they're not being ID'd, or somebody of the legal age is purchasing it for them. But there has been an increase of that. You know, if it was an elementary school right next door to it, maybe it'd be different because it's easier to tell the difference between an elementary school student and a, you know, and whether or not it's supposed to. But because they're high school kids, there's something to think about with its proximity to there. And kids do skip, and they guess where they go when they skip school.
Just, and if I remember correctly, right down the street, there's like a Teeny Giant on the left.
Yeah, that's it.
And Teeny Giant, do they sell alcohol?
Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't have it marked.
Because we're only marking those where we have a special exception.
Okay.
And there are, it's, the vice mayor is well aware, because he and I talk about this on a regular basis. The real problems we have are not those that have special exceptions. They are the places that are grandfathered. That's where you're getting the single sales, and that's where you run into the issues.
As you come back toward 5 Points,
Nothing else.
yeah, I was gonna say, there's nothing past the cabs
There's
and
nothing else. I had a good discussion with them.
there's 7-Eleven on the other side of 5 Points across
Yeah.
from McDonald's.
They're not gonna sell single serve. Their hours of operation
Very limited.
limited. I think they close at what time?
10 p.m.
10 p.m. You know, so they're a family business. They've been there. They're willing to make the necessary improvements. We talked about the loitering problem that, you know, that I've seen at the Tiny Giant, you know.
Yeah.
They're committed to putting up the no loitering sign, but more importantly, executing the no loitering sign. One of the biggest problems we have with the no loitering sign is that the police come on the property, they arrest the person in the store don't come to the court date, and then they gotta let the person go.
Let's use the word enforce and not
Right,
execute
enforce,
on that one.
But
Somebody's got a capital
they're
murder trouble.
committed to that. You know, the guy was, you know, so adamant about it. He said, look, if we had to take a temporary
Right.
special exception, we would do that. All we want is the opportunity.
Right.
I talked about, I know that, you know, in terms of the time that they were sale and the time that they were closed, period. No single serves, we went over that in terms of what single serves mean. Talked about the wine piece, and they were amenable to all of that. And so, at the end of the day, these folk are trying to compete, family business, with the stores up on Tidewater Drive, Southern Shopping Center. Yeah, and they do good food business, but alcohol is a part of the equation.
I'm gonna remember that when you say compete. I'm gonna bring that back up in a few weeks. Also, are there any plans for Coronado School, the school system possibly reopening? Because that's another scenario. That convenience store is right there next to a possible school. And I know it's not on surplus yet because they're still utilizing it as office space, I think.
Yeah, they would never bring that back as a school.
I don't know.
No, we were taking that offline. It was never envisioned to be a school again.
Okay. The next establishment is another ABC, a new establishment looking for ABC off-premise sales. It would be a brand-new establishment, Westside Produce, on Colley Avenue. And it's in the Highland Park area. You may remember this site as a yoga studio in the past. And what they're proposing to be able to do is to have seasonal fresh produce in, and they would like to be able to sell beer and wine. It is, as I noted, in the middle of the Highland Park neighborhood, and the property does have the appropriate zoning. The only issue that you have with this particular site, if you look at this is another area where we have absolutely no streetscape benefits or streetscape improvements. The Central Hampton Boulevard area plan does designate this area as a site for a future PCO, and it does call for streetscape improvements along Colley. The applicant has committed to making those improvements as a part of this request. There are no other establishments within the 1,000 feet we typically look at offering ABC off-premise sales. In this particular case, we did have a letter of support from the Highland Park Civic League. The applicant spoke in support. There was no opposition on this one. And the vote, staff's recommendation is approval. The vote at Planning Commission was 5-1. There was absolutely no discussion, so I cannot even begin to guess why the one person voted no.
Who was the one?
Brad Law. And the next request is a Chow Gourmet Diner, which is almost directly across from the prior Westside Produce at 5103 Colley. This is the former site of Tanner's Creek, which was an entertainment establishment. They want to come in without entertainment, simply as an eating and drinking establishment. It is also located in the Highland Park neighborhood on Collie, so you've got the same issues out of the Central Hampton plan with regard to corridor improvements, and you've got the same issue here with absolutely no streetscape improvements along Collie. And so what we would be requiring as a condition of the special exception is making those streetscape improvements. I would note that you do have an issue of proximity to residential. This is a single-family residential home. This is the establishment, and one of the issues we had with the prior establishment, Tanner's Creek, was a noise issue. So we were very concerned about that as we brought this forward. They are proposing more limited hours of operation. These do conform with your ordinance requirements for ABC establishments in proximity to residential, where they do have to close earlier during the week and are able to stay open a little later on the weekends. You'll also...
What's the name of the who's the applicant, the name of the applicant?
It's all shucks.
It's Oshucks,
Yeah.
that's right. It's the same people who are running, yeah,
And
great.
Tortilla West,
Yep, I hear you.
Tortilla West is what I
Yep.
keep thinking.
good operator.
They do terrific.
They are a terrific operator, and they are proposing absolutely no entertainment because they understand the
Because they're
entertainment
selling
is what
food.
created the
What
problem.
they're really doing is selling good food.
Yeah.
Again, the applicant spoke in support. We have a letter of support from the Highland Park Civic League on this case. We had no one in opposition.
Yeah.
And again, the planning
Saved me a
commission vote
ride
was
down
5-1. Mr. Law voted in opposition to this one as well, with no discussion or no debate. And our recommendation is approval.
And Brian can walk right across the street too, by the way. That's
From UPI, you mean?
He and I have been talking about this one too.
University pizza.
That's the last thing some people need to be able to do. Walk across the street. Better put a crosswalk there.
The next establishment we have is an establishment in the University Village area, Boardwalk Fresh Burgers and Fries. They are currently open as a restaurant without alcohol. They are looking for the authority to sell beer with their food, so they are looking for a special exception as an eating and drinking establishment. It is in the ODU Village, and so it has that zoning, which does permit the use by special exception. There are 4 other eating and drinking establishments in this area, including the original location of Mojo Bones.
Oh, okay, that's not Ocean View, okay.
This is not the Ocean View and same operator, just a different
They're
location.
very successful there because they can compete.
They are very successful here, as are these other establishments. They're very successful. The hours of operation that they are proposing to open earlier than most of the other eating and drinking establishments in the UV area. The earliest one we have is Borjo Coffee House, and they have the longest hours. They're proposing to open earlier, but they're not staying open any later. And then they have similar hours for alcohol sales with the other establishments. It's a fairly small establishment with only 47 seats indoors and 24 seats outdoors. Again, the applicant came and spoke in support, and the Highland Park Civic League has endorsed this project. There was no opposition at Planning Commission, and the vote at Planning Commission was again 5-1, with
a lot of
Mr.
drinking
Long
going on
voting
in
in
Highland
opposition,
Park.
with no discussion and no debate.
Highland Park's gonna be a party zone.
We are recommending approval. Hokkaido is a new establishment that is proposing to locate downtown where the Brazilian Steakhouse used to be at 233 Granby Street. They are seeking approval as an eating and drinking establishment. It is located in the downtown historic overlay, so any modifications I make to the exterior will require special exceptions. The zoning does permit eating and drinking establishments by special exception, which is why we're here. We've compared their hours to the Espeto Nebraska, the prior establishment in the area. Their hours, they're proposing to stay open later every day. They want to stay open until 2 a.m., which is consistent with what we've been doing in town 7 days a week. So their hours are very consistent. Their hours are actually less than what Espeto Nebraska had for alcohol sales, because they're proposing to stop alcohol at 1:30. Their seating capacity is slightly more than what Espeto Nebraska had, because they're proposing to use the mezzanine that was not approved, or that the other establishment never sought. Here we had the applicant to speak in support. We had no one in opposition. We did not hear anything from the Downtown Civic League on this particular request. And again, the Planning Commission vote was 5-1, with Mr. Law voting in opposition with no debate and no discussion, so I can't tell you why.
So this is gonna be a restaurant?
It would be a restaurant.
Not a bar.
It is not an entertainment establishment. What they are seeking is the ability to be a restaurant. It would be an Asian restaurant with specialization in Japanese cuisine.
Okay, excellent.
That puts, I mean, I'm just curious, Domo's right down the street.
It will be the 4th or 5th Asian restaurant we will have in downtown because we've got an application for another one coming before Planning Commission in July.
And where's that one?
This one will be going in the Wells Fargo building.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but that's
It's a popular food.
Yeah, it is.
And every one of the places
and
downtown,
I think
is great.
that's going to be more of a tablecloth type.
Yeah.
And Domo's,
This one or the other?
The other one.
two of them are sushi,
Smaller,
two of them are
much smaller.
sushi places.
Yes.
One
I
of them,
just, yeah, I mean,
two
I
of them
love
sushi,
Asian
one
town.
Chinese.
And you've got a Thai place, so
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
the
you
5th
got the
one.
top, so
And
there's
then-
4 different
That's, I
types
think it's
of.
great.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's terrific. I was just wondering how many we had. I think it's terrific.
We have a large number, but they're all great food. So.
Yeah, they really are.
Okay.
This one, Lola's Enterprises, is on 20th Street in the Ghent Business Association. This is an existing eating and drinking establishment that wants to begin providing some entertainment. It is located in the Ghent PCO on 21st Street. Like I said, it is an existing establishment, so you have previously allowed the alcohol sales here. The big issue we have with Lola's, nothing is changing except they want to add singing and dancing. It would be performance singing and performance dance as forms of entertainment. Working with the city attorney's office, we are placing the same restrictions with regard to the dance that we have done for other establishments throughout the city that are proposing to have performance dance. The Good Business
Performance dance.
What is performance dance?
It's where you don't have the public up to dance, but you actually are bringing in the people to dance. So it's like a song and dance.
I like Dance with the Stars.
We didn't have places like that.
We have a handful where this is all.
I thought y'all got rid of those places
Restriction
when we
we
came
have,
on.
working with the city attorney's office, we have developed criteria to prevent them from becoming the kind of place you're thinking of.
They wanted, let's go back, they wanted, sing it, so they want to sing, so they want live
It
entertainment.
would be some live entertainment.
Okay, but this dancing part has got me.
I mean, it would be, we've referred to it as cultural dance previously, so we've done it at a couple of places where you have belly dancers come in.
But you're not telling me what type of dancers are coming in.
I don't know what kind of dance this will be.
What
It's
the
just going to
market
be a
bears.
performance dance.
No pun intended.
I don't know. They haven't specified it as a cultural.
Maybe you should
type
go to
dance.
Maryland and check it out.
Been there, try a little.
Been there.
Seriously, Frank, I would like to have a
That's
little more
Kansas City.
specificity on the type of
Yeah, what's their
dancing.
vision?
Yeah.
Well, what they said is they want to be able to do cabaret shows, and so
There
we
we go.
worked and we were like, okay, what do you mean by a cabaret show?
Yeah.
So putting that in terms that are consistent with Norfolk's ordinance, it became performance, or singing and performance dancing.
That's
Rather
cool.
just they are talking cabaret type shows.
Yes. Well, we gotta be cultural.
Is that the old?
Can't have it all downtown.
It's the Red Brick Building back there, you know, that's been about a gazillion.
It's a Caribbean place.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yes.
It's-
It's had a couple of names as a Caribbean place.
Yeah,
pretty
The food is nice.
It is
It's a great
it's got
place.
some depth to it. Okay.
Great food.
We do have a letter of support from the Ghent Business Association. Again, we had no opposition.
Yeah.
The applicant was present. And once again, the planning commission vote was 5-1 with Mr. Law voting in opposition with no discussion or no debate, so I can't.
Well, that's great that he voted against it, because we would have never seen these presentations if he didn't vote against it.
I personally think it's because he likes watching on TV and seeing it.
Did you wave
But
at him?
and I just, for a point of clarity, I know Cindy Hall has had conversations with them because one time they were open as something else. And she did a good job in talking with them and kind of giving them an orientation of, with some guidance. So they run a good business.
Yeah, they have, I think this is the third name we've had for these
Yeah.
people at this
For
establishment.
the people that has
They're
it
really nice.
now, Cindy got with them early
Yeah.
on. And
Frank, did you have another restaurant on Collie down there? Was the former restaurant?
Where the boot used to be,
Yeah,
Or
with
the
the-
diner.
we have a brand new
Enrico's?
application coming in there.
it's called, what is it called?
Dirty
what is it
Buffaloes
now?
or something?
Dirty Buffalo is up off Collie. That one is coming to planning commission this month.
Okay.
And then we have another one in, where the boot used to be in Kent, that is coming in to planning commission in July.
2080.
2080
Yeah,
burgers.
that's-
Well, there goes that market share, Marcus, for
It's called
restaurants.
2080. That's the name of the restaurant.
Getting that number down.
That's
right?
right.
2080.
I don't know what the 2080 means, but that's the name on it.
And that's coming from.
That's a burger bar.
Yeah,
That
a
corner
burger.
place, the tap
Yeah.
house. The tap
Which is
house.
the burger bar?
And what you're seeing is there's a demand for food.
Is it 80/20 or 2080?
80/20, like the beef.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last one I have for you
I
is
prefer 95.5.
an encroachment, and this is for the State Farm Insurance Offices, 733 Bush Street. And they have come in. I know you're disappointed this isn't an ABC issue, it's purely a
No.
sign.
Trust me, some of
looking
us
for
are very
encroachment.
happy for State
Yeah, we're
Farm.
not kidding.
It is downtown, located north of Brambleton. The building, the property is zoned D4, which is the Downtown Cultural and Convention Center District. It's largely the area north of Brambleton, plus Scope is what has this particular zoning. The use is allowed. What they're looking to do is to post a sign. Actually, the sign went up before they got the encroachment, and they've been cited for that. They want to put the sign on this cornice line. It does extend out into the city right-of-way, which is why they'll be before you looking for the encroachment. The sign, this is the sign that is up. It is within the limits of what could be done on the property. The maximum sign that would be allowed by ordinance, these are the ordinance restrictions given this placement, would be around 30 square feet would be what they could do for this site. The sign they have is less than that. It is 24 square feet or thereabouts. Staff recommended approval because it is consistent with ordinance requirements and it does conform to all approved plans for the area. The Design Review Committee, which also looks at all encroachments, looked at this and also recommended approval. And then we got to Planning Commission, and Planning Commission voted to recommend a denial on a 4-3 vote. The majority felt that the sign looked odd in this area, and they suggested it needed to go to the top of the building. The problem with that is by ordinance, you can only have one sign per building in this area. And State Farm is not going to be the only tenant in this building, so it would limit, it's defined as being a sign by code. Any sign up here is supposed to be a sign identifying the name of the building or the major tenant. And so for that reason, we didn't feel comfortable recommending the sign go up there because State Farm is not the only tenant in this building.
So you're gonna have other signs up there?
Eventually, there would be other signs there. What we're looking at is to use that same cornice line as a band using similar dimensions to what's approved for State Farm, assuming that got approved. The minority, the three people who voted in the minority agreed with staff, conforms to all ordinance requirements. They didn't think it looked bad. They agreed with the Design Review Committee, so they recommended that the encroachment be approved.
Where was Martin Thomas? He was probably moving it up.
I believe Mr. Thomas is one of the ones who recommended moving it up. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the three who voted for it at the location is shown were Ms. Chandler, Mr. Diamondstein, and
You said the three that denied it.
the three that supported it.
Four or three?
The vote was 4-3 for denial.
Oh, denied, oh, okay.
And I don't remember who the
Four
four
that
that
voted for it understand that they'd have to have several signs at the top then?
Well, I can only have one sign up there.
Right, but what I mean is, did they understand that that State Farm wasn't the only person running it?
State Farm is the only one that has a sign up now, and I think all they were looking at is that it would look fine right now to put them up there. The problem then becomes if you get additional tenants in the building.
I know, I'm just saying, did they understand that
I
additional
can't,
tenants?
we tried to explain this to them, I can't tell you.
But you're saying that if other tenants are in that building, they can put their signs on that line too?
Yes.
You could potentially have State Farm and those big signs just all the way down.
You could potentially, well, for each of the tenants that would be here, because they would have to put their sign above their space.
Right.
If they don't have the frontage.
I mean, doesn't it have every?
I think State Farm should have as big a sign as they want.
No, I mean, you know, you got, how many tenants could be in that building?
Well,
You and I both agree.
Potentially one more tenant on this
We
side.
both agree, right?
And the sign has to be above the tenant on the facade facing that street. So if you have a tenant who's in the back, now what they would need is a monument sign listing the tenants in the overall building.
I think the monument sign would go better than have all those signs that big. Was that one of the, did that go into yeah, because if you know.
And it gets worse and worse, and worse.
Yeah.
So that's
See
the
if they
last.
say Liberty Mutual, but all state.
This is a sign they put up. They put this up without the encroachment and were cited, so they began going through the process.
That's a good corporate citizen.
Okay. How about you don't have the pier? Where's the pier? We'll have nothing for us.
You
And then you
will
would know, like
get
Brad
6 more
Mull would do what he did.
presentations in 2 weeks, and that will include the ones that, in Ocean View. You've got several in Ocean View that will be done, but we tried to keep those on one date in order to make it easier for
Yeah,
people.
because their hours are different, so you don't want to mix them in with.
Correct.
Yeah, we have to stay competitive.
Okay, are you finished?
That's it.
All right, so we can take a snooze here for 20 minutes.
And Marcus, when does the
Right at 7.
aquatic center, Friday operations, when did it begin?
I mean, we have.
Let's start now, then we can go home.
We wanted to go to the
Problem
Ocean Task
is,
Force.
most of
My
you
friend
didn't
of
notice.
We're gonna do compromise,
Okay.
allow, see if we can let
They're good.
do it, give them 18 months.
We can do
I
reverse
set up
order.
a vision that
Very last
says the
thing
restaurant
we
has to
do
be
is
in for a certain amount of years
Same 2013.
without violations,
Right.
so that we don't get a flood of
Yes.
requests.